Calgary-Shaw, followed by Bonneville-Cold Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the alternate reality this PC government operates in, a tax is not a tax, a raise is not a raise, a decision is not a decision, and now we learn that a cut is not a cut. In Calgary last week, despite cutting $42 million from community access programs, the Minister of PDD suggested that he, quote, will not take services away from people that need them. I'm sure the Minister can understand the confusion amongst many Albertans. Will the Minister please explain how he can possibly guarantee that everyone who needs support will still receive it after he personally signed off on a $42 million cut to frontline services?
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for being in Calgary last week and for meeting with many of the concerned citizens there. I imagine while he was there he didn't share any discussions about $2 billion that they would plan to cut out of their budget, Mr. Speaker. Nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, that member was present when we did estimates, and it's pretty clear, I thought, in estimates that my budget went up by $3.5 million to a total, I believe, of $694 million, Mr. Speaker. I was also very clear in the budget discussion that we plan to transition from community access services to community engagement services, including employment. I stand by that promise. I also said that people that need services will get services.
Honourable member.
This is nothing short of a broken promise from a Premier who promised no service cuts. Minister, given that you continue to insist the $42 million gap in funding will not take services away from our most vulnerable, are you actually suggesting that there are people in the system today that are receiving services who do not require them?
Well, we are currently doing needs assessment, Mr. Speaker, and that could well be an outcome of the needs assessment. We'll have to wait and see. But people that need services will get services. End of story.
This minister has insisted that he will fill the $42 million gap with an additional $2 million out of his employment budget. Can't the minister see that $42 million and $2 million just don't quite add up?
Mr. Speaker, I can't say it more clearly. We are going to do a transition from community access supports to supports that provide for inclusion and engagement in the community, including employment supports. And we do have budgetary money on the human services side for employment supports, and we will focus employment supports. But I'll say it again. People who need supports will get supports, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Bonneville-Cold Lake.